Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Avonlea Chronicles, a knitting podcast. My name is Martha and I'm here to talk about all things knitting and crafting. Let's just say there's not been a lot of knitting happening. It has been really hot still. We're getting like 22, 23, 24 degree weather. On Friday at school, I was teaching phys ed, so I was in like some track pants and a tank top, and a zippered hoodie. I knew I was going to be spending some time outside, so I wanted something I could like unzip and wear open. And the AC has not been working at school in some parts of the building, so it has been really hot. And like, it's just too hot for some of us. We've been wearing t-shirts and tank tops, which isn't normally what we wear, but it's been too hot to wear our long sleeves. And I was outside most of the day on Friday in my tank top and a yellow safety vest because it was just that warm out. So the cardigan that I look at that's sitting, I pulled out the end of the summer when I was done on my other projects. It's still sitting at the edge of my couch because it's too hot to work on. And it's a woolly wool worsted weight cardigan. It's too hot to work on it. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm waiting for my advent calendar to come in because I'm designing something and I need to be able to just hit the ground running when that comes in. So there's not been much knitting, but there has been a lot of crocheting. So let's get into that. I have been following HG Designs Crochet with Heather. She's got a great granny square guide and then really great patterns. I'm part of her sub squad, so we get a pattern, I think 4 times a year. And I saw her comfort crossbody and really wanted to make that and sort of get over this like weird fear and thought that granny squares were hard. And so I got yarn for it and I have been working on crochet projects. So Heather uses or makes her granny squares using a circle round, and she organizes her rounds or her centers in a box like this. So mine's from the dollar store. It's got dividers on it, so the dividers actually are fit in like 2 squares at once. So it comes with 36 little, because you can see where they divide. So like one divider will sit in there. It's like a one rectangular piece with a slit down the middle, so it can go in there. So it comes with all those dividers. I took them out. I even cut one of them. But I made 12 spots for my centers because I have 12 colors. And then I did a spot for my notions. So I've got my hooks and scissors, stitch markers, sewing clips, bag hardware, and then zippers. And so this is really so that I can grab and go. If, I need to take a project with me, I actually have everything in a bag. So I can just grab and go with this. So I made all my centers and then I pulled, I started with purple. And so I wasn't going to do the round 2 on the same colors, so I moved to this one. So, and I did round 2 with purple, 1 on every color. Then I took the lavender and I pulled out a purple center, did a round 2 in lavender, and then all the other colors. So I ended up with every single color combination that I could possibly have with my 12 colors. And then once I had my bag full of granny squares and I was in the mood to do it, I just refilled my box of centers. So I'm ready to go for the next project. So everything is all in here and all organized, ready to go. Then I put all my granny squares in this little drawstring bag. I got a new lunch bag from Poppy and Peonies. They're a Canadian brand. They make like vegan leather bags, but they also have lunch bags. So My lunch bag came in this dust bag, and it was just perfect for all my granny squares. So this is like what I'm talking about. I just grabbed one center of every color, put a purple round on it. For green, did the same thing. So I have this bag full of 2 round granny squares. And then I've pulled out what I've needed, but I am making sort of in tandem the comfort crossbody and the comfort pouches. Now the comfort pouches come in a midi and a mega size, and I'm making both. So what I did was I dumped out all my granny squares, and I knew I was gonna make one size of the comfort pouch with the pink join color, and we use the continuous join as you go method. So I made sure that none of the granny squares that I was using had the hot pink in them. So I eliminated all those pink ones. Then when I went to pull out the squares for the next size of bag, which I'll show you in a minute, I pulled out all of the lavender squares so that there's not this extra burst of pink in there, because it's actually quite a lot when you use your join color. So these are my panels for the midi bag, or the midi pouch. They just need a lining and then to be put together with a zipper. And I have not done anything to these, but I am going to give them a little steam block. There's a lot of magic that happens with blocking, and I don't think they need, like, they don't need a wet block, but I do think I want to steam block them just a little bit. So these are my panels for the midi bag. And then this is just one of my panels for the mega bag. Now, because I only have 12 colors, I did try and distribute my colors evenly. But like I have 2 squares with pink as the second round, 2 with yellow, 2 with green. But I tried to distribute them all evenly and make sure that I have squares with like every single color on them. So that's one panel. And again, I'm like making them in tandem. So I'm making all the panels, the outer panels first, joining the granny squares. Then I'll make the lining panels, and then I'll put them together. This is my second panel. I still have a row and a half to go to join them, but it's coming along really well. I also left all my tails, and I will just weave them in sort of all at once. But they work up pretty quick. The other panel I worked up on Tuesday evening. I came home early because my friend had a meeting after school, so she didn't need a ride. So I was home really early and repacked my lunch, and then I had a meeting to go out to a little bit later, and so I didn't want to start anything big. So I started this, woven some ends, went to my meeting, continued weaving in ends, crocheted the rest of it, woven more ends, and I had the other panel done in one evening. So that's that. I am left-handed, so Heather has a great tutorial. HG Designs Crochet has great tutorials, but they're all right-handed, and so I had to find a left-handed tutorial for the continuous join as you go method, and then I kind of married the two together. Like, I followed what Heather was doing in the HG Designs Crochet tutorial method for continuous join as you go, while sort of following and getting in my head the way to do it left-handed, because I couldn't sit there and flip it in my own head. So now that I know how to do it, it might not be perfect, but it works and it's coming along really great. So I'm excited to get this done. And I have to say, this tulip crochet hook, it's amazing. Like, it is a really nice hook to use. It's worth the money. My second would be the wooden hooks from Walmart, which were my first like good crochet hooks that I thought were great. If you're in a pinch if you were at a Walmart and you were in a pinch to have a crochet project, wooden crochet hook from Walmart, great. The Comfort Crossbody, I have all of the pieces. I had to move them, but I had all of the pieces lined up and they are ready to join. So I will be joining them next. I found laying them out and taking a picture the best thing to do, because then I could just throw them in a bag and go off to a meeting or wherever, and then just look at the picture, line them up, and go on. So that's what I've been working on. I'm thinking the midi size might be really good for the notebook that I'm about to use to put to sort of organize all of my Avonlea knits, like business thoughts, ideas, pricing things out, all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of doing one that's just the 2 purple colors, which I originally was going to do the Comfort Crossbody and just the 2 purple colors. And then I'm like, that's boring. But I'm going to do, I think, a midi pouch in the 2 purple colors. And Heather puts a chart in her patterns, so you can mark off when you've made a center for all of your granny squares. I took 2 purple pens, different shades of purple, the other day, and I did a little like checkerboard pattern. So some of my squares will have the lavender center, and then a round of purple, and then the third round will be lavender again. The others will be the opposite. It'll be purple, lavender, purple. And then I will join as you go, but not continuous join as you go, so that they'll be alternated. I'm just waiting to finish my midi bag to make sure my notebook fits. But I think that's what I'm going to do next. And I'm using Hayfield Bonus DK, which is really great. It's acrylic. I think it comes from England, but or that's where the brand is. But it's really good acrylic yarn, and like I'm gonna be using these sort of heavily, throwing them around. And while I'm a supporter of use the expensive hand-dyed yarn, I also think there's like a time and place for acrylic that, you can just like, I'll be throwing that in my backpack, taking it with me places, and I want something that's durable that I haven't put like a lot of money to in my supplies for it. So that's what I'm currently working on, because it's an easy grab and go project. And I'm also watching a French show right now, so I can crochet and read subtitles and listen at the same time. But that's what I'm working on, and it's kind of been a nice palette cleanser from all of like the work knitting that I was doing in the summer. And I'm just getting ready now for whenever my advent calendar comes. And we just need to pray to the shipping gods. Canada Post is on strike for like, I don't know, the 100th time this year. It feels like they're always on strike. And so they just went back on strike on Friday. And so I don't know when this advent calendar will be shipped, and I really hope it gets to me in time, because yeah, I pitched an idea to the yarn dyer, and I really hope that and want to be able to deliver, but if Canada Post can't deliver my advent calendar, there might be a little problem. So just fingers crossed to the shipping Canada Post people, that they, fight for what they want and need, so they can get back to work and we can keep getting our packages. I also, with all of these granny squares, have only used one ball of each color, and I've only used like less than half the ball because I hand rolled. I don't have my bag of all of my yarn balls with me, but my patterns and my yarn all fit in this little clear zipped bag that my mattress cover came in. So I keep all of that together. I also plastic canvas or mesh, they called it, is needed, not for the comfort pouches, but for the comfort crossbody and then for the frilly pouch that I made to give the bag some structure. And I just happen to have all this plastic canvas. Doesn't matter what color it is because it's going to be covered, but I had all of this already, so that was perfect. So that's all that I have been working on. Yeah, that's all that I've been working on so far. But I have something very exciting to announce and kind of relaunch, I guess, and launch it more officially. So last fall, when I put my website together, a friend had told, I'd been talking to a friend last August, and we were just talking about life and like sort of business and all the things. And she's like, I think you should do clothing. Like, you should make some cool graphics, put your logo on it, do things that are knitting related. You could also do teacher related stuff and put them on shirts. And I was like, and I'm like, is that what I've been seeing? And she's like, you don't have sort of any part, you have a part in it, but at the same time, you don't have to deal with printing. You don't have to deal with shipping. You don't need all of that special equipment. And I said, like, I've been seeing these women on Instagram post videos and they make a graphic in Canva, and then they go in and they onto some platform and they put it on a hat, they put it on a shirt, on a sweater, and then they put it on like their website or Etsy or whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's what it is. And it's called print on demand. So I had set that up last year with a hub called Printify, where shipping companies have their products and you could pick what you wanted. But the main problem with that, it was all in USD. And I started everything. I had put a bunch of stuff up there, but I, for the life of me, could not make any money because, and I sort of did one launch of it and then I went quiet about it because I couldn't figure out how much to mark up my products to actually make money when everything was converted. Fast forward to this summer when I saw a small business from Belleville, Ontario, XXL Scrunchie. They were on Dragon's Den a few years ago and got a deal. And I saw their founder talk about this platform called Gelato. And it's the same thing as Printify, but everything is done. You can pick what currency everything is done in. So I could pick that everything was done in Canadian dollars and everything is marked up in Canadian dollars. Money exchanges go through as Canadian dollars. And so like at the end of August, I switched everything over. And so you might remember this sweater from last year. This was my sample from Printify, and people comment on this every time I wear it. I probably wear it about once a week in the winter, and everybody comments, oh my gosh, where'd you get your sweater? It's so perfect for you. Like other teachers around the school, so I said, oh, I made it. Like, you can buy it on my website. But I was kind of quiet about that because I wasn't really making any money with things converting over. The other thing that I have shown is a canvas bag with one logo style on it. This just has like the outline of my logo. And sorry, this other one is at my feet. This big one was one of the other styles. Now, Gelato doesn't have this style of bag anymore, which is, or they don't have this style of like heavy canvas bag. But this has the other version of my logo on it with the 2 shades of purple. But my first sample came in after some glitches. But I have this purple hoodie with my logo on it. And I am like officially launching my shop on my website on October 1st. And I have my computer here. So we can do a little like walkthrough. So we have my website. Up top, we have Avonlea General Store knitting patterns. So my latest 3 designs will always be up at the top here. And then you can click on the top. If you click on the words, it will take you right to all of my designs. So if you're not on Ravelry or Lovecrafts, you can get all of the PDF patterns here. So I'm trying to do this backwards, but all of my patterns are here. Then if we go back to the home page, underneath, underneath all of my patterns is the Avonlea General Store knitting apparel and accessories. I've just got 3 things up here at the top, but if you click into it, I have so many products. I'm trying to see, I'm not fancy enough to be able to like record a screen share of this. So we're doing it old school. So I've got a hoodie, a crew neck, a t-shirt, and a mug with my logo on it. And then I've got tote bags. They're just, I think they're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna get it. I think they're just gonna be like a book bag style like this, but I've put both versions of my logo on it. They don't seem to have a big canvas bag like the other one. But then I've got some fun graphics related to knitting. I've got eat, knit, sleep, repeat, teach, knit, sleep, repeat. I've got crochet ones for spinning. I've got some fun like fall Halloween-y ones. Ghosts Don't Haunt Me, but my yarn stash does, and Stitch and Witch. And then I've just done my little launch for Wednesday. I've got Crochet Queen, Knitting Night, Pearl Princess, and Granny Goddess. And so they are all here. I have done 2 versions, or not 2 versions. I'm giving you 2 options always. So there will always be a hoodie or a long sleeve option and then a t-shirt option, but that might change. There might be a t-shirt and a bag option, like a tote bag option, or a hoodie and a mug. I'm just, for me, I'm just giving you 2 options. Everything is nicely laid out in a row of 4. So you've got your 2 options with the same graphic here and here. And then if you're looking at it on your phone, these 2 will come up side by side in one row. And then these 2 would be below it. So that is for Avonlea Knits. Now, if we go back to the home page and we scroll down a little further, I have Avonlea Schoolhouse. Now, I'm a teacher, so if you are a teacher and you want some teacher tees, I've got you covered. I have a cute little picture of my bunting hanging in my friend's classroom. I did have permission to use this because there was no sensitive information up there, but my cute little bunting hanging in a classroom is there. And then I have teacher tees. They are also bilingual. I work in a bilingual school, French and English. So there are some French and English tees. And for this launch, I made t-shirts that say, I teach elementary, I teach kindergarten, I teach grade 1, I teach grade 2. And then it also says it in French, j'enseigne en deuxième année, troisième année, quatrième année. I did that all up to 8th grade. Now the graphic for this has quite a bit of color, so your only option is a gray t-shirt. Because I found that was the best when I was doing it last night and putting them up there. Any other color was like too dark, or the colors of the graphic weren't showing up very well. So I did it just a gray shirt, but you've got options for English and French. And if you're a substitute like me, I teach elementary because I don't teach any specific grade. So that is that, and that's what's up here. But little secret, you can go buy it now before Wednesday, October 1st. But because it took me about an hour and a half last night to load 28 things up there, but yeah, it is all, and my sample turned out super great. I was going to get another sample of like a teacher shirt, but there was a glitch on their end, and it took me like so long to get it sorted out and finally talk to someone to be like, something's not right. But I got it all sorted and now I'm ready. So the plan is, and I have actually everything ready for the next year. The plan that's sustainable for me is 4 graphics per launch for Avonlea Knits and 4 for Avonlea Schoolhouse, 4 times a year. Now, I will say for Avonlea Schoolhouse, I actually have a couple different sets of full, then like the next set I have just says the grade and it's got a rainbow on it. So the next set will be like all of the grades with a rainbow. So if you wanted for your kid, you could buy a t-shirt that says 2nd grade or troisième année with a nice rainbow on it. But that is what I'm doing on here. So the plan is 4 times a year, I will do a launch with 4 different graphics, 4 for Avonlea Schoolhouse, 4 for Avonlea Knits, and they will launch on January 1st, April, July, and October. So 4 times a year. If there is anything specific to holidays or the seasons, they will sort of come out at the appropriate time. But yeah, you can find all of that on my website at avonleaknits.ca. I am also going to try to keep up with my Avonlea newsletter, also doing it 4 times a year, where I just write a little bit about what I've been working on. I'm going to try to keep up with that. but I would much rather sit here and podcast than write out a little bit of what I'm doing, but I'm going to try it. So I might start, I don't know if I'll get it done for this launch, but definitely January. So yeah, that is what's going on. I'm super excited about it. So you can go on and get this at avonleaknits.ca. And yes, that's right, avonleaknits.ca. The link is down in the description. And yeah, that is what I have been working on. I'm super excited about it. I also cannot wait to get my advent calendar and to start designing. And I also had a really exciting connection this week, or network, with someone. They were looking to expand their photography portfolio and looking for businesses that could use some, professional photographs. So they had just posted it in a local Facebook group, and I said, like, I have a knitting design business, and like, I would love some professional pics of my stuff, because it's just me and the tripod, have a little date, and it's not always the greatest photos. And they were like, yes, that is exactly what I am looking for. So we've talked a little bit. They're going to do up a mood board. I sent them some pictures of my shawls. So I'm really excited, because I'm going to be doing a photo shoot. And like, I have wanted to do one for my knitting stuff, but like, I don't make enough from this yet to do a photo shoot. So that is really exciting. And that's what I've been working on super diligently. I'm getting so hot in this, but this is so comfortable. I'm so excited to be able to put some fun knitting related, fiber related, crochet related things onto some shirts and bags and mugs. If you have any ideas of fun things to put on shirts, mugs, whatever, leave them down below. I've got some good ones coming up. So yeah, I'm super excited about this, and this is what I've been working on. And I hope you love it as much as I do. And I'm super excited to be able to show off all those things and for you to get your hands on stuff like this. I love this hoodie. It's super comfy and cozy. Same with my crew neck, and my tote bags are really great. I haven't yet gotten, because there was a glitch and I was just able to get one sample. I wasn't able to get any bags yet to see what they're like, but I'm super happy with how things have turned out. And this is, if you get stuff on Etsy, this is what people are doing. Print on demand. So they're just making the graphics, putting it into a site like Gelato or Printify, and then a shipping or a printing company in Canada or the US prints it and ships it to you. So if you're thinking that people on Etsy are making them themselves, they're not. But this is like the way people are doing things now, and I love it. And I hope you do too. I'm gonna go do some crocheting, and actually I'm making some Ukrainian apple fritters from my cookbook, because my friend gave me some apples from her apple trees. And so let me, trying to find it here. Oh, making these fried apple Puritsky's. They're super great, and I think my dough is almost done. So I'm gonna go work on these, and yeah, I'm super excited. Everything will be like officially announced on Wednesday on my Instagram, but you can go look at it now and order if you want. And I will see you back here in 2 weeks, hopefully with some finished crochet projects and maybe my advent calendar.